Hi everyone, we are excited to have you here in today's fun-filled learning session at Uolo. Here is a quick look at how you can submit your work after the class. As a first step, go to live.yolo.com. You can use any browser to access this site. On this page, you will see a list of all our classes. Scroll down and you can see the Submit Your Work button. And then you will see a list of the classes that you've last attended, which could, for example, show the dance or craft or science experiment classes you've attended recently. Next, it will show you the list of children whose names are registered in this mobile number. Choose your name from this list to submit your work. For instance, if you are Satvik Kumar, choose that name. And then choose the class for which you would like to make your submission. For example, if you've attended the New Year's Masquerade Party session and you'd like to make the submission for this class, click on the Submit Your Work button below that. And then upload the photo you've taken. Choose the image from your phone and click Submit. You can scroll down and view all your past submissions and see how many of your friends or peers have liked your work. You can also see others' work and like their work to inspire your friends. If you want to showcase your work on social media, that too is very simple. Click on Share, copy the link, and post it on Instagram or Facebook or any other platform of your choice. Just a tiny reminder, your submission looks a lot better if you could click a photo in the landscape mode rather than the portrait mode. Do not forget to tag us at YOLO_app. I'm eagerly looking forward to all your submissions right after this class.
Hey there, kids. Welcome back. I hope you had a look at the submission video and it made a lot of sense to you as to how to go ahead and make your submissions. So let's get started with today's class. So first things first, I hope you're going ahead and making all of the submissions for this course or any other course that you're taking up right now. And I hope that you're going ahead and, making all of your submissions nice and neatly and are being, selected as part of that top 10. I obviously want you all to be selected as part of the top 10, whether you're doing this course, you're doing any other course, being selected is something that's wonderful, and I hope that you are going ahead and doing so. Let's talk about what we're going to go ahead and do today, and let's go ahead and discuss what we're going to go ahead and do in the next class so that you kind of get an idea of what we're working with and what we're going to keep working with. So today is our seventh class as part of the course, and in the last class, what we ended up doing was we ended up going ahead and drawing some vegetables and coloring it in and then doing a few outlines. So in the previous class, I was telling you as to how if you have not done all of your fruits and you feel like you want to learn how to do more fruits, you're going to be using the next few classes to go ahead and do so, right? So we have two more classes left for this course. And in today's class, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing those fruits. That's going to be our main focus for today. The two fruits that we're going to be learning how to do, one, we're going to learn how to do a watermelon. And the second is we're going to go ahead and learn how to do grapes. Now, I know all of you must be like drawing a watermelon and grapes must be so easy, right? We all know how to do that. You must have learned it in school, or your mom or your dad would have taught you how to go ahead and do it. And that's wonderful. But today we're going to go ahead and do something different. Like I have always told you, we love adding color to whatever we are going ahead and doing, right? So today's concept is going to go ahead and being using color, which is using paint, and then using your fruit as a subject and creating something fun out of it. So the concept for today is going to be doing finger painting. So we're going to use our finger to take the paint and go ahead and dot it on to create the fruit of your choice. We're going to be learning those two fruits in terms of the finger painting, and I hope you are absolutely excited to go ahead and do so. Now, in the last class, if you felt like those four vegetables weren't enough and you want to go ahead and learn more vegetables, then in the next class, we are also going to be doing finger painting for vegetables. So please make sure to attend that class so that you learn a more range of vegetables, right? It's very, very important for you to learn it at this stage in your life so that, later on you have so much fun. Well, if someone in class asks you something or you want to go ahead and draw something, you can always sit down and do something like this because you've already learned it here. Okay. So a couple of pointers that I always give you before we start class. One is I hope that you can go ahead and do this very, very neatly. I want you to go ahead and do all your work neatly, slowly, take your time. That's why I don't do too many topics in one class, so that you can slowly and neatly learn how to do what you're doing today. Second thing that I want you to keep in mind is that I want you to focus and take the breaks that I'm giving you in the middle. I'm going to give you a break or two. So, anywhere in the middle, I'm waiting for you to go ahead and finish up what you have to. Go ahead and finish it up at that point of time, so that later, when you have to go ahead and do your submission, it doesn't take time and you don't have to worry about it. You can just click a picture once the class is done and go ahead and submit it, because the two fruits that we learned today is what we're going to go ahead and submit for your submission. So that is the second thing. Third thing that I want to tell you, make sure to upload your submission. If you go ahead and upload your submission, you can be selected as part of that top 10, which I definitely want you to be selected as part of. And the fourth thing that I want to tell you for today is that I want you to go ahead and attend all of those four classes. If you go ahead and, sorry, not four classes, the eight classes of this course, and if you do go ahead and attend all of the eight classes and you have gone and done all of your submissions, then you're going to go ahead and get the certificate right at the end, right? And that is very, very important. All of us want to get the certificate right at the end. So I hope you've gone ahead and done all of your submissions and you're attending all of your classes. So let's get started with today's class and what we're going to be learning today. Let's start with all the materials that you need. So first things first, like I always tell you, the first thing that you need is a sheet of paper. As you can see over here, I have this sheet of paper or a sketchbook that I have with me right here. If you don't have a sketchbook or a drawing book, that's absolutely all right. You can take an A4 size sheet of paper or any sheet of paper. Just try to make sure that it is a little on the thicker side this time, because if your sheet is a little thicker this time, what is going to happen is you're going to be able to use a lot more paint. Even if your paint is a little runny or watery, it's not going to make any difference. We're going to go ahead and use the paint to go ahead and do to paint today. So just make sure your paper is a little on the thicker side so you can go ahead and do it. So grab a sheet of paper that you need. The next thing that you need is a pencil. The pencil is going to be needed for you to go ahead and draw the fruit that we're going to be doing today. So the watermelon and the grapes, both of them that we're going to be going ahead and drawing today. For that, I want you to have a pencil with you. The third thing that we'll be needing is a scale. Now, the scale is optional. I want you to have the scale just in case you want to go ahead and divide your sheet of paper into two. Today, I'm not going to be dividing my sheet of paper into two. I'm going to be doing one fruit in one page. So if you want to go ahead and divide your sheet of paper into two parts, then you can definitely go ahead and use a scale. The second reason that you might need a scale, again, which I did not use it here for, was for drawing any part of the fruit. For the watermelon, you might need the scale to draw a straight line. So if you need a scale, keep it by you. You may or may not need it. So that was the third thing. Fourth thing that you need for today is going to be paints. So here you can see I have two paint bottles. I have a red paint bottle and a purple paint bottle. These are not the only two colors that you will be needing. You will be needing, a few more colors, because you're going to be doing watermelon and we're going to be doing grapes. So you will need a few more colors. Now, the reason I'm showing you them as individual bottles is because if you have them in individual bottles like this, or you get a set of like 5, 6, then you can grab them, or whatever kind of paints you have. If you don't have these kind of paints, if you have like a watercolor set or anything like that, that will also do. If you have acrylic paints like the Hobby Ideas one, that will also do. Any paints that you have at home will work. So I'm going to show you the box that I have with me. So these are the two tubes, but this is the box that I have with me, and this comes in a 14 color set. So this is what I have with me, and this is the whole color set that I'm going to be using. Just having a simple few main colors is all that is important. If you don't have such a big set, completely all right. It's completely okay. So this is what you will need. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wait for a second. Please go ahead and grab all of these materials if you don't have them with you right now. Just go ahead and get them so we don't have to, think about it later or wait for you later. Okay, I think everybody has their materials, so we can get started. So the first fruit that we are going to be going ahead and drawing today is going to be a watermelon. That's what we're going to be going ahead and starting out with. So what I want you to go ahead and do is grab a pencil and draw the watermelon out with. First thing we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and draw one sleeping line, and you can see I'm using the whole sheet of paper like I already told you. So I'm going ahead and doing one long sleeping line on the top right here. If you feel like you're going to have a hard time drawing the sleeping line, like I mentioned, you can go ahead and use your scale at this point of time to go ahead and do your sleeping line. So just go ahead and do this line. Once everybody's done, we're going to go ahead and do a curve. So we're going to go ahead and start from one end and move all the way to the other end to do the curve. So this is going to be the basic shape of your watermelon. Just make sure all of your edges are joined with each other. That's how you want it to look. Good. I think everybody's done a wonderful job. Now what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and take the same marking and we're going to draw one more line coming inside like so. And then we're going to do one more in the same manner. So as you can see, we have three lines now. So this is the first line we drew. That's the outside part. This is the second line and this is the third line. So your drawing should be till here somewhere. Okay, I think everybody has this. Now we can move on to the next step. The next step basically is going to be to take your colors. The three colors that we'll be using for this painting particularly is going to be red, green and black. Now here the green, you can go ahead and take a light green or a dark green. Either would work, no problem as to which one you want to go ahead and use, but make sure you have some form of green for the painting. So red, green and black. So grab all these of yours. So the first color that you're going to be going ahead and using is a red. Now, you must be wondering how to go ahead and use the paint. So I'm going to give you a small explanation on how you're going to go ahead and get it into this sort of consistency that I have right here. So what I have done basically to get my paint to this consistency is I've gone ahead and taken some paint out of the bottle. So you can see the bottles that I had right here. I've gone ahead and taken some paint out of the bottle. Now you can do this by using a paintbrush, using a spoon, using your finger, anything that you have with you at home. Just go ahead and scoop some paint out. You can use the back of a pencil, anything that you have. Take a little bit of the paint, and what I'm going to do after that is I'm taking the paint onto the cap. So the cap that you have right here of the paint bottle itself, I'm going ahead and taking some paint in the cap and I'm adding a little bit of water to it and mixing it up with my finger itself. So then what will happen is you'll have a nice, wonderful consistency of the paint, and that is what you want. If you aren't using poster paints and you're using acrylic paints, then you can do the same exact process. For acrylic paints as well, it's the same process. If by any chance you're not using poster paints or acrylic paints and you're going ahead and using watercolor paints, that is the palette that comes and it has all of the hard colors, that is even more simpler. Just go ahead and take your color and then go ahead and take a little bit of water onto your finger and just activate the paint so that it will become slippery and nice, and you can just go ahead and use that. So that will work exceptionally well as well. So once you have your color ready, whichever medium, like I mentioned, you're using, whether it's watercolor, poster paint, acrylic paint, I've explained the process to you. You want to go ahead and have your color like so onto your finger like this. So I want you to go ahead and take your first finger and dip it onto the paint that you have. And now with this, what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to actually start the process of finger painting. So we're going to take our finger and do dots. That's all we have to go ahead and do. Let's go ahead and do some dots. Now the main part of the watermelon that we have, we're going to go ahead and start doing dots. So you can see I've done like a bunch of dots. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do all of this section right here completely with dots. Now here you don't have to go ahead and do them differently by leaving gaps. That's how I just started with. Eventually I'll go ahead and start overlapping all of the dots. You will be able to see how I do it. So you can go ahead and follow the same manner. So you can see nice and easy. If you're still mixing up your paint, don't worry about it. Take your time. I'm going to wait for you. Mix up your paint and just understand the process as to how you have to go ahead and do this. And you can see I am overlapping all of my dots onto one another. And look at how beautiful that result it's giving me. So any point of time you feel like you're running out of any color, no problem. Just go ahead and mix some more color and you can go ahead and use that. So try not to leave any gaps. Like you can see, I'm not leaving gaps anywhere. I'm going ahead and filling up all of them. So take your time, like I mentioned earlier, take your time to go ahead and do so. So have fun while doing this because you can see it's something fun that you want to go ahead and do. I don't want you to rush into it or, get bored while doing it or anything. Take your time while doing this. So any gaps, please go ahead and fill it in. You don't want too many gaps here and there. Nicely fill that in. So now you can see I have my finished center portion done right there. So I'm going to wait for a second just in case you haven't gone ahead and done it and you still need some time to go ahead and fill it up. I'm going to wait for you, go ahead and fill it in. It's a very simple and easy process for you to go ahead and do. Good. I think everybody is doing a wonderful and neat job. Looking very nice, everybody. Yep, perfect. I think everybody's done a neat and beautiful job. So very glad. Now let's go ahead and move on to the next color that we are going to be using. So the next color that we're going to be going ahead and doing is green. So you can see I've gone ahead and mixed up my light green. So this is the light green that we're going to be using. So I'm going to wait. Don't worry that, I've already gone ahead and mixed the color and I'm going ahead and using it. I'm going to wait for you. This was just to show you what the color is going to look like. If you don't have light green color and you want to go ahead and use dark green, that is also completely fine. Go ahead and do the same process like I mentioned earlier for watercolor. Just go ahead, take a water and activate it with your finger, which it's poster color or acrylic paint. Then just take a little bit of paint, however you want, mix a little bit of water and then dip your finger in it. And what we're going to be doing now with the green is we're going to go ahead and do this whole section with green. That's what we're going to be going ahead and doing. Whole section with green. So I'm going to wait for you, mix up your color. Don't worry about it. And also for your finger, if it's become red in color and you don't want to use any other finger, then take a tissue or go wash your hands. You can go ahead and do so. And then you can continue with the next part of it. All right, I think everybody's ready, set with their green color, has washed their hands or cleaned their hands with tissue. So let's move on with the green. Now here again, you can see I'm overlapping. I'm not too worried about, it being equidistant from each other. You can make it a little thick fat. You can see I'm going ahead and doing it nice and neatly, fun, not making it here and there. You can see how beautiful this watermelon is already looking. And there we have our green ready. Anywhere again where you have some gaps going on here and there, please go ahead and fill it up. Try not to have any gaps anywhere. So you can see I'm filling up all of the gaps as much as possible. So So as much as possible, as you can see, go ahead, fill up your gaps. Try not to go ahead and not leave any gaps. You want it to go ahead and fill it up. So this is how your fruit should be looking. You can see it's already looking like a nice and beautiful watermelon. So this is the stage that you should be at this point of time. So I'm going to wait for you again for a couple of seconds, just in case you have to go ahead and correct out anything, or you have too many gaps or something. Please go ahead and fill it in. No problem if you need to take your time to go ahead and do so. Okay, good. I think everybody's done a good job. The next color that we're going to be going ahead and using with the same process is going to be black. So the black is going to be used to go ahead and add the seeds in this whole area. So the seeds we definitely want to go ahead and add in. So go ahead and mix your black up. For watercolor, just dip your hand in water and activate the paint. If it's the other two colors, acrylic or poster colors, just take a little bit of paint, mix it with water, get it to a nice consistency, and that's what we're going to be using. Clean your hands with tissue, or go ahead and wash your hands so that you have a clean finger to go ahead and do your painting. Okay, good. Everybody has their color. Let's get started. So taking your black color, I'm going ahead and adding the seeds in. So you can see I started off by doing some tiny dots for the seeds, but I realized that they are not showing up very, very well. So I went ahead and started doing some larger dots. You can see the big one that I did right there. That looks much better. So I made all of them nice and big and large. So nice, big, big, big dots. Keep them distant from each other. You don't want to do, too many dots right next to each other, because we're doing big, big dots. And you can see how beautiful is that looking. So there we have our ready watermelon. So I hope you all have come to this stage where you've finished all of your black dots. I'm going to wait for a second just in case you're running a little behind. Please go ahead, take your time, and just finish up the black dots of this. I'm going to wait while you do this, and don't worry about whether your red color is wet or not. You can see while my red color was wet, I went ahead and started doing my black dots. Since the black color is much darker than your red color, it won't make any difference. It'll go ahead and add in and look beautiful as is. So don't worry about that. Now, for the pencil lines that you see over here, later, if you feel like, the pencil lines are not looking good and you want to go ahead and erase them out, then you can definitely go ahead and erase them out. Just make sure that your paint is completely dry before you use your eraser, because what will happen is your paint will smudge if your color is still wet. So just make sure to go ahead and, check that it's completely dry and then erase it out. I'm not going to be erasing it out because I like the way it looks. Good. I think everybody's done a wonderful job. So let's move on to the next fruit. Like I mentioned, we're going to be going ahead and doing grapes. So the first thing that you need is a fresh sheet of paper. So here you can see I have grabbed the fresh sheet of paper. I've just taken the other side of the page or the book for where I've done my watermelon. And that's where I'm going to go ahead and be doing my grapes. So for the grapes, I'm going to first go ahead and take my pencil and I'm going to go ahead and draw a set of grapes. Now, how do you draw grapes? We're going to be basically just starting with circles, wherein I'm going to go ahead and draw 4 circles right on top. Now, a lot of you must have learned how to draw grapes in school. And if you have learned how to draw grapes in school, absolutely great. Go ahead and draw those grapes. If you haven't, you can follow. So I've done 4 grapes on top. And then I'm going ahead and drawing in the middle of one grape some more. So you can see I've gone ahead and done 3 grapes. Then I'm doing another 3 grapes. And basically I'm creating my grapes to move downwards. So another 3 grapes, then 2 grapes, and then 2 more grapes. So you can see I've got my basic structure of the grapes ready, wherein I have 4 grapes, 3 grapes, 3 grapes, 2 grapes, 2 grapes, and You can add one more grape and your grapes is done. So right here, you can add one more grape and your grape is done. If you feel like, no, this is too easy and I want to make it a little bit more, then you can follow with me, wherein what I'm going to do is in some random spots, I'm going to start and adding in more circles so that it looks full. So you can see I'm adding in some more in random spots to make it look full. So there you can see it's looking pretty full and nice. So now what we're going to be doing is I want to go ahead and do some purple grapes. So those are the colors that I'm going to be using for this one. I'm going to be basically using purple and green. Purple is going to be for the grapes itself and green is going to be for the stalk of the grapes that we haven't drawn here because it's very easy to directly go ahead and do with your paints itself. So you can make your grapes purple and green like I am right now, or you can make green grapes as well, red grapes as well. That is completely up to you to pick which color grape you want to go ahead and do. Now the consistency of the paint is going to be exactly like the previous one, wherein I want you to go ahead and take the color that you have right here. Right here, I'm going to be taking purple. What I've done is I've scooped out a little bit of the paint, I've put it on the cap, then I've taken a little bit of water and I've mixed it with my finger to go ahead and get the right consistency of the paint. You can go ahead and do that for purple and green. If you're taking any other color, which is red, you're going ahead and taking green. Whichever color you're taking, go ahead and make this consistency right now. I'm going to wait for you for 5-6 minutes, like 5 to 10 seconds while you go ahead and do so. Okay, good. Everybody is doing a wonderful job in mixing their colors. Anybody who's using watercolor paints, like I mentioned, just dip your finger in water and then dip it into the paint so that you can reactivate it. You might have to do that a couple of times during the painting, but that's completely all right. Okay, good. Everybody has their color with them. So let's get started. So for this one, we're going to do something different. We're going to go ahead and take a purple color paint and we're actually going to draw circles. So like you can see, I'm simply going ahead and drawing a circle. So this is the technique that we're going to be using for the grapes. We're going to leave the center as is and we're going to go ahead and do circles for all of the grapes. If you're using red or you're using green for the grapes, then you have to follow the same technique, nothing different. Just keep using a lot of paint to do this so that it looks nice and dark and opaque while doing it. So you can see, nice and slowly keep dipping your finger in fresh paint as you need to and keep drawing those grapes. And look at how beautiful that is looking. It looks like a bunch of grapes already, looking very nice. Some of them, if you want to color in, you can color in, but make sure to go ahead and get the right shape. Perfect, good job. Everybody's doing a wonderful job. Very good. Excellent. Everybody's doing a wonderful job. So as you can see, I'm taking my time to go ahead and do this. I'm not rushing into it or anything. Slowly doing it. And there I have my finished set of grapes. Wherever I had gaps, like you can see right here, I'm going ahead and, filling it in. Any other places you feel like you have gaps anywhere, please go ahead and fill it in. So you won't be able to see the pencil lines in this, as you can tell. In some spots, maybe you'll be able to see the pencil line, but like I mentioned, like in the watermelon, you can always go ahead and erase it off with a eraser later. So good. I think everybody's done a wonderful job, looking very neat, looking very nice. So now let's move on to the next part of it, which is basically taking your green. So again, if you haven't mixed up your green color right now, go ahead and mix it up and we can start doing the stalk. Okay, everybody has their green. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and do a stalk right here. I'm going to do like 2 lines here and 1 line here. So you can just see how I do that. So I'm taking light green color over here and I'm going to do a few dots coming from top. So two dots one right next to each other, two double dots, all the way to the end, and then few dots on the side. So it looks like it's holding all of the grapes. Making it a little fat, and there you have your grapes done. So what I did was I did two drops dots, and then I've gone ahead and done the line right there. And there you have your set of grapes. How easy was that? So if anybody has not got what I was doing right here, I'm going to just play that back again. Maybe you were still mixing your colors or something of that sort. No problem. If you still were, that's okay. You can just have a look at what I did right now. So I started with on top, giving good distance, and I'm starting with the two lines. Two dots, I mean, sorry. So two dots, slowly, and then moving towards one side and moving towards the other side. And I'm making it a little thicker. And anywhere that I see any gaps, I'm filling up with green. So this is what your finished product should look like. Okay, good. I think everybody's done a wonderful job in this and it's looking very nice. Great. So if you, I'm going to keep this screen open for like few seconds. So just in case you've gone ahead and missed something out and you feel like, you have to go ahead and correct it out, please go ahead and correct it out. A couple of pointers that I will give you. One is try not to have any gaps over here. You can see I've gone ahead and filled them up. I've drawn the stalk nice and long. If you have a very short stalk, it won't look like a stalk. So trying to make that nice and big. If you feel anywhere in the grape itself, right here, you've gone ahead and not done enough grapes, then take your purple paint and then go ahead and do a few dots here and there so that your whole grape structure looks nice and full, because that is very important, right? With the watermelon, we had a reference, so we knew where in what we had to go ahead and do so. But in your grapes, if you feel like there's a little bit of gap here and there, and you don't want it to look so empty, then go ahead and fill it up. Okay, good. Everybody's done a wonderful job. So neat, so nice. I'm very happy with how your grapes and watermelons have turned out, looking so beautiful and so nice. So if anybody, first thing A, has not finished up their painting and they have to go ahead and still finish their watermelon or grapes, please go ahead and take your time to go ahead and do so. The process was very simple and easy, like you all saw. Very easy to do. So take your time to go ahead and do it. No problem if you need to take a little bit of time to go ahead and do it. Second thing that I want you to keep in mind, right after you finish this class, please click a picture and upload that picture so that your submission is made for this class and you don't have to worry about it later. So that's the second thing that I want you to keep in mind. Third thing that I want you to keep in mind is that you can go ahead and use this technique for anything literally. We are going to be using the same technique for doing your vegetables, and I'm going to be probably teaching you one or two new things over there, but this is pretty much the same technique, which is of finger painting using your hands to go ahead and do a lot of paintings. So go ahead and try doing such kind of finger paintings, because you can do any object like that. So just draw any object and then use your paints of your choice to go ahead and mix it. I've also told you how to mix your three colors, so please go ahead and try it in different things and learn how to do different painting styles. Third thing that I want you to keep in mind is that you attend all of your classes. If you attend all of your classes, A is obviously you will get a certificate, but B is you will learn more, and I obviously want you to learn a lot more. Okay, so this is what we have learned in today's class. I hope you guys absolutely enjoyed what we learned today. I will see you in the next class where we're going to go ahead and learn how to do vegetables, and we're going to be doing your finger painting for vegetables. So bye bye. Have a look at the submission video. I'm going to leave you with that. Bye.
Hi everyone, we are excited to have you here in today's fun filled learning session at Uolo. Here is a quick look at how you can submit your work after the class. As a first step, go to live.uolo.com. You can use any browser to access this site. On this page, you will see a list of all our classes. Scroll down and you can see the Submit Your Work button. And then you will see a list of the classes that you've last attended, which could, for example, show the dance or craft or science experiment classes you've attended recently. Next, it will show you the list of children whose names are registered in this mobile number. Choose your name from this list to submit your work. For instance, if you are Satvik Kumar, choose that name. And then choose the class for which you would like to make your submission. For example, if you've attended the New Year's Masquerade Party session and you'd like to make the submission for this class, click on the Submit Your Work button below that. And then upload the photo you've taken. Choose the image from your phone and click Submit. You can scroll down and view all your past submissions and see how many of your friends or peers have liked your work. You can also see others' work and like their work to inspire your friends. If you want to showcase your work on social media, that too is very simple. Click on Share, copy the link, and post it on Instagram or Facebook or any other platform of your choice. Just a tiny reminder, your submission looks a lot better if you could click a photo in the landscape mode rather than the portrait mode. Do not forget to tag us at YOLO_app. I'm eagerly looking forward to all your submissions right after this class.